Well, here we are. We are live, folks, and thank you for joining us. I have Rob here from Digital Asset News, one of the more popular news sources for everything crypto. I have crypto analyst CJ from marketrebellion.com, and there next to him, I have CEO of Voyager, crypto broker Stephen Ehrlich. Steve, thanks for joining us today, man. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me again. I love coming chatting with you three. It's always fun to do this. The pre and the post are always good too. We get some good outtakes.
That's we're gonna release a little video maybe of the outtakes someday.
That'd be fun.
So yeah, everybody, thanks for stopping by. So I just had one quick question, and that was I came across this nice little article that said something about you guys over there at Voyager had raised $100 million. So the question I have, and I think a lot of people have, is who'd you raise that from? What are you going to do with that? And then what does that mean for Voyager as a whole? Because that's a whole lot of money, Steve. So what are we going to do here?
It is a whole lot of chickens. We're happy to have it. And, it's in 3 weeks, basically, we've added about $146 million to our balance sheet, which puts us as one of the most well-capitalized crypto players in the industry. We're excited by it. It's been a busy 3 weeks. And a lot of things, were happening over those 3 weeks. But literally, this last round was probably our best round yet. $100 million. It was oversubscribed. The funds that came in were all predominantly long-term holders, long-only funds. Which is different. I know there's a lot of conversation in the marketplace about institutional investing in funds. Our guys that we look to bring in want to be part of this for the long haul. They're not on both sides of the trade. They're not market makers. They're not, hedging their positions. And quite honestly, I had a conversation with one fund a few months ago that said, "Hey, I thought I could hedge my position when you were up by shorting one of the miners, shorting Bitcoin. There's no natural hedge against Voyager. There's nothing like us in the marketplace in the public company. So hard to hedge. You can't get that natural hedge." So the funds we brought in, long only guys, I'm so excited to have them as my partners investing with us, have conversations with them, on, as much as I can, as they run their models on us, and they're excited about the growth of Voyager. I think as part of that 100 million raise, I think we noted on our February 4th or 5th press release that we did something like 800 million of principal value in the month of January. And in February through 4 days, we did 170 million. So you can do the own math. You can see where we're going and where we're headed to for our February results, just by the math. And so we're excited. I mean, having great investors, it really helps not just the investors, it also helps all the token holders because it gives us so much more money to do more, to add staff, to do more development, to bring more product and really work on it, in a really thoughtful, judicious manner, knowing that we have all the cash in the back, in the bank too. And it was kind of neat to see because it actually closed this morning and the money came in wired into our bank. It's really nice to see, a 9-figure in our bank account. It was like, whoa, I've never seen that before because even at E-Trade, they never let me see the bank accounts. So this is pretty
awesome.
Cool.
Yeah,
it was pretty cool.
Yeah. So Steve, I mean, it's great that this actually happened. So the question then is, as everything kind of comes in, what was the sentiment like when people were talking to you or talking to the company? Were they like, kind of like, oh, we'll put our feet in the water a little bit? Or was it like, we need to get into this now? And then before you answer that, I just want to say thanks, because a lot of times when we hear about raising money, especially in this industry that we're in, we're always worried about one thing, a big rug pull. So when you talk about people who are there for the long haul, I think that helps alleviate my fears and a lot of retail investors out there. So thanks. So anyhow, I'll get back to that first question. What was the sentiment like?
Oh, huge positive sentiment for crypto in general and these funds wanting to get in there. It was basically, as I said to you guys before we got on, it was like from Friday morning through Monday night, we pretty much went nonstop with meetings with institutional fund managers. We got a break to watch a really bad Super Bowl, unless you were a Tampa Bay fan, and then you thought it was a great Super Bowl. But for the general public who didn't have a rooting interest, it was kind of boring. You just get to watch Mahomes make plays that no one else could make, and his guys get hit in the helmet with a football trying to catch it. But we were nonstop for 4 days. The institutional investors were so pro crypto, pro this industry. And when they looked to where they could invest, they didn't see much in the public markets. And they were like, wow, you guys are really stand out. We could go to the private markets, but we want, they're public funds. They wanted to be in the public market. No real, competitors for us in that. And our size. I mean, and that's one thing that as we've continued to raise money and grown, we're now over a $2 billion market cap company that's US. And people are like, I can now make that investment because these guys are on solid footing.
Yeah.
And so, but the enthusiasm, forgetting the enthusiasm for Voyager, the enthusiasm for the crypto markets, whether they're long Bitcoin, long Voyager token, long Ethereum, DOT, doesn't matter. There was immense enthusiasm for the crypto markets. And that's really what got me in. What every call was fun because I was getting all these opinions from people on where they thought this would go. And there's such positive thinking coming out of institutional fund managers, which is really a good thing.
Well, one of the things I definitely want some point in the future, the next time we get to get together for a drink somewhere when this COVID stuff ends, I want you to show me the screenshot you took of the bank account, because I know you took one.
I will. I absolutely will.
And CJ, take us over to the VGX chart. Let's see what this thing's been doing over the last couple of weeks and where we might be headed.
Absolutely. So anyone who's been a Voyager token holder or who has followed this asset very carefully knows that it has had a parabolic run and has seen very positive sentiment like you guys had just mentioned. Yesterday night was pretty interesting because shortly before we got this news of the private placement of common shares, over 100 million, we started getting a very nice pump here in the Asian session. And now we're already up 36% on the day. So very bullish, breaking that previous higher high, and price discovery mode now for VGX. So full disclosure, it's my largest position in my portfolio, but very bullish, and I'm looking forward to hearing more of the fundamentals that Steve has to lay out for us.
Well, I'll say one thing. You can tell when Steve when he's busy working, because that's where all the sideways action is. The minute he lifts his head to go get a drink at the fridge, all of a sudden the price goes up. One of the things I wanted to ask as well that are we're all getting hit up on a lot is EU. A lot of people in the EU looking for access to Voyager. Any insight onto that?
Yeah, look, I think as we've been saying all along, it's the second half of 21. We're working with the AMF, putting all our policies and procedures in place to make sure that we can do it exactly by the rules. The rules are changing a little bit. We mentioned it one of the other times, AML5, and how you have to do some more KYC. And so we're working on that. Our team is led by our COO, Gerard Hanchy. He does a bleeping amazing job for me. Just does a great job. And he's putting all the work together and making sure we can get there the latter part of 21. But there's a lot of rules to do it. So we'll get there. We're excited by it. We think that it's another way for us to increase what we call our top of funnel. And international is always one of the ways to increase the top of funnel. Product and international are our two ways. And where we're shooting and what we're doing in the US today, we're excited about what we could bring to the EU. I get tons of DMs every day. I think Gerard does too. Get me to Switzerland, get me to France, get me in Germany. It's like, we're coming. We got a little work to do.
Speaking to that demand, Steve, you've seen incredible customer growth and new accounts. Could you comment on the current wait list? And there's a lot of people in the community that are, waiting to get on board. What should they expect?
Yeah, it's a good question, and we deal with it. And quite honestly, the comments, we can't one-off comment. I mean, we're a public company, so I can't one-off comment all over the place to get myself in a little bit of hot water. But overall, the wait list is really deep. And I think what people tend to forget is that from that January 28th period to January 31st, it was, we announced there was 250,000 downloads. So that was the beginning of the wait list. And so we're going through it. We're adding, people every single day, and not just one or two. We're adding thousands every single day. We'll get through that wait list. At the same time, we're scaling the platform. So I know we joked around earlier. It's like, I get a lot of tweets like, hey, just make your database bigger, get your CPU bigger. It's not that easy. There's so many different components to it. And the team really is working hard at that. So at the same time we're doing it, bringing people on, we're scaling the platform. So we got to be really judicious about it. We think it'll get through it, in short order, but I appreciate everyone's patience. I'm seeing a lot of people saying, "I'll wait, don't worry. I'll be there when you're ready to take me on." So, but I think it's we're excited about it. It is a really deep wait list. The initial fact of it from those 4 days is the biggest, and we're getting through that.
Gotcha. So Steve, thanks for answering that. So let's go a little bit deeper. Let's talk about, the wait list itself. So you say that we're going to do some things. You guys are doing, specific instances of what you're trying to actually accomplish to decrease this wait list. But what are one of the biggest factors that you find to be able to actually onload all these people coming in? And what are you guys doing to actually bring them in to, and especially in the future? Because we know this is the very beginning of this 2021 bull run. What's going to happen in June, July? Let's not even talk about November, December.
No, we're in the process of scaling the system up to about 10 million users is what our estimates to get to 10 million. Oscar Salazar, who you've heard me mention many times before, founding CTO of Uber, he's working really closely with us. We brought in a whole separate team to help us scale while our existing team is working on the scaling in progress. We're building out with this, what we call our strike team, to continue to build this out to a 10 million. They've done it before. They were at Uber and other companies, so they've done it before. So we have that team working with us. Again, I know there's a lot of tweets out there like, hire more people. We did. We got the best of the best. So we have that team working side by side with us and scaling it out. So definitely, we're hopeful that, in another short order, that we'll be in position to take 10 million users. That's the goal. We're scaling the system to 10 million.
Perfect.
Awesome.
And then, sorry, Al. So
no, go ahead.
So you have, that's what's great about having that disposable income, that little tiny $100 million, you can kind of do these things that you actually want to do. But then on top of that, there's been some people who have asked me, they say, well, what about this token, the Voyager token? Because right now it's an ERC20 token. We know the different fees that are going on with that. Is there any plans to move it over to a Cardano, to Algo, something like that? And then before you answer that, I want to say thanks for doing the things you said you would do. Like over on Twitter, people would DM me and be like, hey, these fees are ridiculous to get things off of Voyager. You see it's like ADA was like 20 Cardano, 20 ADA to move it off. And of course, I sent out a tweet within 24 hours. You guys had responded and actually fixed it. So thanks for doing the things you're supposed to do. Now, if you can actually answer the other question I was bumbling with.
Yeah, no worries. Look, and we read the tweets. I tell you that all the time. We read them. I'm responding to them personally. And again, people are shocked. And I do that with service tickets, as you sent that little video out. We saw it, and you picked up an inefficiency, and we went ahead and looked at it and compared ourselves to the market, and we did the work, and we made the change. So as far as changing from an ERC20 token to Cardano, or we're partnered a bit with Algo as well, we're looking at it. I think, our core component here is to make sure we get the system scalable first and get that up to 100, like I said, 10 million users. And once we do that, then I think the world's our oyster, and we'll start making a lot of other changes as well. But our core focus is to get the system to scalable for 10 million users, because the data we see about people coming on the platform and downloading our platform every day is quite high.
Got it.
Good stuff.
Anybody else?
Yeah, man. Listen, thanks for taking the time and coming on the show. We have over 1,000 people who are watching it at this point right now. But we truly appreciate the time. Anything else from you, CJ?
Yeah, would you like to get into the incentives of the Voyager program?
Oh, we're here for that?
Wait a second. Wait,
was that
Steve,
a thing?
Did you come on here for a reason? The Voyager loyalty program announcement. Come on, guys.
It almost slipped my mind. Thanks, CJ, for reminding us. I didn't even think about it.
Listen, I appreciate for everybody who just listened through the first part of this. It was all about getting up to date on things like the wait list, things about the $100 million launch, the EU expansion, so forth and so on. But we wanted to get that out of the way because the real thing we wanted to hear is what's up with the VLP. Are you going to announce it right now on the show?
You guys want me to?
I guess.
Yeah, if you want to.
Let's you have that live stream of tweets. Let's see what everyone says on that. Let's take a break and go get some coffee, come back, see if there's some tweets about that.
I got nothing going on today. Nothing.
No, nothing, right? Like there's no tweets either. So no, we're really excited by it. I think we're going to, if it's not out, it's probably, it'll be out on our web or tweeted or something like that. Our marketing guys, Mateo and Nat, will marketing folks will have it out there. Look, we're excited. We heard you loud and clear. I made this joke earlier. CJ was pretty loud about it, which is great. No problems. I love CJ. I love the guys at Market Rebellion. And, the fact that they brought it to our attention and people did, we went back to the drawing board. I know it took longer to do, but we also got a little bit, sidetracked. Raising $150 million put us in trying to do some things as well at the same time. But the core to the whole program is now based on tokens only, not your asset balance, which I think is what everybody really wanted. So I think it's, we have different levels. We have 3 levels on that side right now. The base level is 500 tokens. The second level is 5,000. And what we call our Voyager level is 20,000 tokens. It is large because the token is high now, but we'll evaluate that on a quarterly basis. But right now we wanted to make sure that existing holders who had, substantial tokens were going to get a lot of the benefits. And we get people incentivized now to come in and start buying. And it doesn't mean you buy right away. You can leg yourself up. You can do recurring buys and get yourself legged up from below the 500 to 500, from 500 to 5,000, from 5,000 to 20,000. But at the same time, when you leg up from buying, you'll be incentivized for activities on the platform to get more tokens to move up levels too. So we want to incentivize behaviors. We want people to use the platform, come back more and more, trade more. When we get the debit card to the market, we want to get people to use that debit card because you'll start building your VGX token and you'll get more and more rewards out of that. So that's what gets us really excited. But we heard the community loud and clear when it originally came out and said, like, there's no reason to hold the token because you can just hold assets. We got it. And we went back and we said, okay, let's make all the levels around, 500, 5,000, 20,000. I think that's the right way to do this. And so people are really incentivized to hold it and grow their portfolio with us. Because you'll get cashback rewards no matter what you trade with us, but you're going to get those cashbacks on VGX. And lastly, and then we can go into more specifics if you want, the 7% interest is still in place. People will get that. We're excited about that and go from there. So we think it's a really good platform to incentivize behaviors, incentivize people to hold more tokens, buy more tokens, get rewards in tokens, and really create wealth through the VGX token.
Go ahead, Rob.
Okay, so let's break it down because the old program went like this. There was Explorer, Navigator, Voyager, and the rewards were pretty low. I mean, level up rewards. So you had to hold so much. Now we're talking about, you said 500, 5,000, 20,000.
Yep.
The next part we talk about is the cashback rewards. So you talk about the more people that trade, the more they get back, or BIPs. So we're looking at a cashback reward of, for each level, can you talk about it, about how much it would be as they trade? So go ahead.
Yeah, so it's interesting. Look, and I think I'd be remiss of me not saying is that as the community grows, I think Pat Ackerman, who we've had on, you guys have had in the show, I've listened to Pat, I've spoken to Pat. He has a really good thought and mentality around this, around the Metcalf rules and so forth. As our community grows and people want more, there's going to be more and more demand for these tokens. It's a finite number of tokens, effectively. There's not, an infinite number of tokens on this. Now, the 7% comes back in, but there's a 40 million token pool, but that's it. I mean, it's it is a finite number of tokens that has to get redistributed to people when they do this.
Sorry, Steve. So tell us, because I thought it was around 228 million. Was that correct? Or am I incorrect? I always forget.
It's I think it is 255 because it was 222 for existing Voyager token holders. And don't quote me and hold me to these numbers because I'm just trying to remember it. It's like 32 million for the LGO. It's still like a 6.7 to 1 ratio for them. So it's total of 255. There's a 7% interest, which the community can take away if they want and vote on it after a year. And I know people are like, well, you must hold a ton of it. Like we let the community hold the tokens. You guys are going to be the ones that determine after a year if you want it to be 7% or 5% or 8%, whatever. We don't control that vote. That governance is totally back into the community. We have a limited number of tokens we hold, which we use for interest payouts. That's how we do it. We don't hold tokens, to try to make money and sell them into the market. That's not our game.
It's just your own treasury.
It's our own treasury to use for interest payments. That's how we use our treasury today for VGX tokens. We're not going into the market to keep buying tokens because we know a Voyager announcement's coming up and get the pump. Like I saw some tweets last night, no, that's not at all.
Guys, he has to buy a hockey team. Will you please drive that price of tokens up?
No, I mean, it's just not our MO. We're not like that. We're trying to create wealth for our consumers, not for, not through the company through this mechanism. It'd be silly for me to think about it that way. So I mean, I think, from our perspective, it's the 255, it's the 40 million marketing pool. We got some pretty cool things we're working on that front. And it's a 7%, it's governed by the community. So it's a limited number of tokens.
Okay, so real quick, two things then. The base points per level, and then if there's a 7% as far as inflation, is there going to be some type of Voyager burn for the token?
Really good point. So let me finish the loop on what you said on the cashback side, right? So what I really fell in love with when we went back to the drawing board on this and thought it through and how to do cashback, one thing that nobody really knows about us, and we haven't done a real good job of promoting it, and it's something we're going to make a twist on our marketing a little bit with this, is, the price improvement. So when someone goes, if you do a market order with us, and you get a price, we give you that price in the app. You see it, you're getting that price. That's why people say, like, how come you don't open VGX to 10,000 on the buy or sell side? It's like, well, I know if I give you at the 5,000, that price you're getting that price because I've got to go sweep books around the globe to go get it. I'm giving you that price. If we can beat the pricing based upon our algorithm, we'll give you back some price improvement. Now we've been given back, and Gerard's the king of this one. We've been given back price improvement on trades, whether people know it or not, on about 70% plus of our market orders. So you're getting a better price than what you think you're getting when you hit buy on 70% plus of your orders. So how are we going to do the cash back? We're going to look at what we gave you back in price improvement for the month, and we're going to give you 1 times that in the Explorer side in Voyager tokens, 2 times that if you're in the Navigator, 3 times if you're in the Voyager. So we're taking the price improvement and saying, here's what you get, and you're going to get 1, 2, or 3 times that.
So it's like
you're providing huge rebates. I mean, you're literally giving back huge rebates because let's be honest, right? Where there's different pricing around different counterparties, there's spreads, there's everything like that. But you are commission free on the outside, and this is your way of reducing the spread even more by rewarding for the token holders. You
got it, because what people have said to us is, hey, once I get, I can move up, can I get a lower spread and all that? It's like, okay, we hear you. We'll do it this way. You'll get more Voyager tokens. You'll get it back. And again, the more you trade, the more you'll be able to move up from 500 to 5,000 to 20,000. So it's really what we thought was a great way to get people to use the platform. You can buy whatever you want. If you want to buy Bitcoin, you want to buy Dogecoin, and we give you a price improvement, you're going to get an extra boost on that at the end of the month in Voyager tokens. So it's going to come back to you in more tokens. And so you could create and get moving up the food chain and moving up your status. And what we put in the market is where we are now. As we bring more products to market, whether it's margin or something, we will, we will absolutely put things around that as well, with the Voyager token. So, but one of the key things that got me excited in the rewrite is the exact price improvement in the mechanism there.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
What particulars? See, I mean, first of all, you just unleashed a ton of huge benefits for token holders right now. There's a lot of them, and there is a real following to the Voyager broker platform. So this is going to make a lot of people smile for sure. Are there any other particulars in the VLP that you can go through and discuss with us?
Yeah, and Rob brought it up, right? Or CJ might have brought it up. One of you guys brought it up. I forgot. The burn, right? I mean, we decided that it'd be really important that if people pay the fees in tokens, in the Voyager token, we will burn. I don't recall if we said it was going to be monthly or quarterly, but we're going to burn 25% of what comes back, on a monthly or quarterly basis. So again, heard the community loud and clear that, the 7% is inflationary, but if people are taking withdrawal, we're going to try to offset some of that through some token burn as well. So again, it just helps to listen, and we listened, and I know it took longer than what people wanted, but we ran a lot of models. We ran a lot of analysis based on current customers, because the other thing we heard loud and clear is when the end of January happened and was like, hey, take care of your current customers. We want to take care of the current VGX holders. We want to incentivize new VGX holders, and we want to make sure everybody's getting the benefit long term. And I think the burn side was something that we thought was important, and we came up with that calculation, and we're happy to do it.
I do want to touch real quickly on 2 weeks ago, and everything that happened. You'd been just chugging along. There was, back in January, you had your other private placement raise. I mean, you're like the $1 million man. First of all, you just walk out of the door of your house and you can go raise money. But you had your $40 million raise. Your stock was halted. We brought you on. We didn't want people to get scared. It was just a routine thing. And then I would say, I don't know, it was like a week later, and you and I went back and forth, and we spoke about what's happening today a little, and it was really exciting. And it was like, yes. And then all of a sudden, the crash of the crash of the Wall Street bets wave that came over to crypto. Ooh. And man, I could tell you were having a tug of war with yourself. You were so excited to release this VLP, and at the same time, all of a sudden, this whole test of the company came down on you at the same time. So, got to give you a big round of applause for that and seeing everybody through it. One big question that people have, and this is probably the biggest of them all next to what you just announced here, which was the VLP program, is the token swap.
Yep.
And so what can you tell everybody about the token swap timing or anything about it, so that they can get it clear in their heads for their planning?
Yeah, first, you're right. You and I have been going back and forth for 2 weeks on this. So I know there were delays in announcing it, but there were reasons why. We had to get through that January 28th through 31st weekend, and do a lot of work on stability and so forth and scaling. So, it is a tug of war, right? You're trying to make sure everybody's thoughts are taken into consideration. People, what they were thinking. I got a lot of DMs from people like, we need more communication. It's kind of hard. Because being a public company, you got to watch, be careful on what gets said. But you and I have been going back and forth, you're right, for like 2 weeks, trying to get this in the right time, in the right place for people to get it done.
Just so people know, Steve, because I got a lot of flack on this. I didn't know anything about the VLP program until Steve just mentioned it on the show. Everybody said, dude, you know all about it. This isn't fair. I don't know what's going on. I knew nothing.
I'll give you something else on it. You knew nothing. Nobody on this knew anything about it, right? And you guys have been great with us. You had me on so many times. We're partnered with Market Rebellion. Nobody knew anything. I didn't even let my own team, the entire Voyager company, was not allowed to buy Voyager token for the last 3 weeks. They were not allowed to buy it because we knew what we were working on. Nobody was allowed to buy it. It would have been unfair of us to do that. So I made sure nobody in the company, and trust me, a lot of guys were like, let me buy. Nope, nobody was able to buy nor sell. They were stuck in their position because we put it, we put a blackout for the Voyager token because we didn't want any, we didn't want to affect the market at all. We wanted it to, when it came out, for it to take its place and let the market do what the market does. So yeah, we didn't really do anything, but I mean, we're excited by it. I mean, the customer growth, what we've put out here, all these things is just, I think there's so much, so much positivity around crypto. Voyager just takes its place there. I think we're top 75 token now. It's been a nice ride over the last 90 days. There's so many things we're working on. It's exciting to be part of this, and it's exciting to share it with you guys. So it's fun to do it, and love to come on and always go through it with you guys.
Yes,
All right.
Steve, as a if I may interrupt, Alex,
Yeah.
as a token holder, Steve, that element of having a burn component into the protocol is so essential. We've seen other projects do similar things like that and have had great success. But that scarcity is so crucial for that token efficiency that Pat always talks about, and in that Metcalfe's law. I can see the market is reacting very nicely. We just hit a high of $3.56. When we started the stream, it was at $3.20. We're now up 48% on the day. So it looks like the market has responded pretty positively to this stream and everybody and everything that you've had to say. So I'll leave it at that.
Oh yeah, and you asked me about the token swap. So
I was going to come back to that because I'll be killed if I don't get that answer.
I know, I got off on a tangent. So my apologies. Love talking to you guys. I could sit here all day. We could do this all day long. Token swap. We're in the middle of the security audit, near the tail end of that, I think. Everything's going great. I mean, no problems, nothing. Everything's going great. We're also working with the exchanges to make sure that their timing, it isn't one of these where we're ready and then the exchange says, okay, we'll do it tomorrow. So we've got to work with exchanges on their timing. So we're hopeful sometime in the next 60 odd days, working with the exchanges, that we get the token swap. But then it would be, the other thing I have to flip back to is that because you guys either directly or indirectly through a lot of your listeners or watchers have asked us, like, are we going to change the minimum to get the extra interest boost because the price has gone up so much? So instead of you guys ask me, I'll just beat you to the punch. Is that, we're going to look at that for March. We'll absolutely look at that for March, whether 10,000 is the right number or we reduce it a little bit as well. Being mindful, of people that are holding 10,000 to get that interest, but I want to create some more buying of the token. I want more people to participate in that 1% interest. So we will take a look at that and come back in the next couple of weeks as well.
Right. And then one more thing about there was a couple of things, the withdrawal fee savings. I know that was on the old program. Is that also going to be included in there as well?
Yeah, that's exactly right. And that's where when people pay for their withdrawal fees, you can pay for it with the token and you get a discount based on your level. We'll take those tokens back as well, as CJ said, and we'll burn some of those.
Yeah.
So
and then just to touch on what CJ said and what you said about, we don't know anything about this, but I was getting killed on Twitter. Like, hey, Rob, you were the one that told me on January 7th, when it was 29 cents, that Voyager was going to go to $30. I was like, yeah, exactly right. And like, now look at it. And it was at $3 or $2.80, and now it's down to $2.20. You're a moron. I'm like, well, I get called that all the time. That's okay. But I always reminded people, do not bet on the day-to-day, bet on people. Because when you bet on people and you bet on teams, usually things work out pretty well. So people would ask me about this program, like, I have no idea what it is. But I will tell you this, if Steve does, which is what I do, just listen to my customers and just give them what they want, then it works out. It's a very simple process, but very few people do it. So thanks for doing that, you and your team.
No, I have a word that a lot of people that are close to me, my investors, my co-founders, people that, like I said, work for Voyager or consultants to us. I always say one word. I was like, patience. Like, it doesn't happen overnight. I mean, stocks don't go up, from overnight. It takes time. And even when it goes up, there's always a retrace. Tokens, same thing. So patience. Like, if you believe it's going to be $30, then you stay with it. If you're If you believe it's going to be 50, you stay with it until that. So, I mean, your thought is 30. I mean, I can't ever give I never give price predictions on this. I can't.
Right.
But I do think there's a lot of upside with the plan and so forth. But if it went from 29 cents to $30 in 60 days, I think there'd be probably something wrong.
Majorly wrong.
Right? There's a classic sign of something's wrong. So, but I think a lot of people who have gotten in the token over the last 6 months are probably pretty happy right now. And that makes me happy. I mean, I said this for the last week with all these investors coming in with 100 million. Is like almost every equity investor has made money, which makes me really happy because I like creating wealth. This is my third shot at this, you know, from my days at E-Trade, Lightspeed. Now this, you know, I like people making money is a good thing. Then they're happy and I don't get yelled at as much. I can only get yelled at by my wife. Everyone else, you know, tends to back off a little bit.
I just got, sorry, Alex, I got one last question. I will shut up. And this is what you said, Steve. We did another interview and you talked about a swap between crypto and regular stocks. Now, I don't want to excite everybody, but I had to get it in because it might not even be on your radar right now, but I had to ask that question. Is that something that's going to come down the pipe?
It's a great question.
The answer is yes. We have a game plan on it. We absolutely have a game plan on it. I can't release anything more than that, but we may have more to announce in the next 4 to 6 weeks.
We'll get you back on the show for that because that will take you. That will make you a powerhouse. I mean, that is really a lot that people have been asking about too.
There's a cosmic shift, I think, in the retail markets as well. By the way, is that I think what's shown us from the GameStop, Robinhood, AMC situation is that one, I think the retail consumers think the crypto markets are the most fair and equitable markets because one, nobody's protecting the institutions when it comes to this. I'm not saying anyone is protecting, and I'm not taking a side in that battle. I'm just saying that I believe retail consumers believe that this is a more fair and equitable market. And I believe so too, in the fact that it allows people to pair off against each other. You even have DeFi if you want to go that way. It doesn't have to be through me, but you can go to decentralized finance and take people out of the equation. All those things, you know, are showing a cosmic shift from the equity markets to the crypto markets. And the ability for us to be able to offer stocks, you know, will help expedite that shift. Because I think the idea of digital securities will happen too, really happen over the next few years, because I think some of the things we see today with the T+2 settlement on equities and options and the borrowing that, you know, you could borrow more than 100% of a stock, which I don't know how you can do it on the reg show, but you know, that would go away if we did all this on the blockchain. So I think there will be a shift to digitalization of securities over the next few years too. So us offering crypto to stocks is the beginning of that, you know, what we think is the beginning of that real shift.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Speaking to the securities in the equity market and being a powerhouse, could you comment on a potential NASDAQ listing? Because there's a lot of people who follow Voyager who own the stock as well as the token.
Yeah, pretty open about this. You know, I encourage anyone who's listening to or watching to go to our website, follow when I'm actually going to do investor presentations on the stock. You get a lot of information on that too. I'm pretty open. Is that we are in the process of you know, working with the OSC, getting a prospectus cleared in Canada. You know, we'd love to then make our first step to the Toronto Stock Exchange. I think we're the 5th largest company by market cap on the Canadian Securities Exchange today, which is quite impressive. We're part of that index. We're also part of the Elwood Asset Management has an index, an ETF index based upon crypto companies we just got added to because of our market cap. We're also, I think, part of the Taroso and Dan Weisskopf's ETF blockchain index. So we're part of a lot of different indices, but going up to the TSX will get us even part of more. And then we'll follow what's going on in the SPAC world and Coinbase direct listing, look at their S1s, see how we can address, you know, how they address certain crypto-centric ideas and issues, and then look to do the same thing, follow behind them and get ourselves ready, because I think what people don't realize is the audit aspect of being public when you're private, you don't have to worry about internal controls and so forth. When you're public, like we are today, you have to abide by what they call in Canada the CPAB rules, Canadian Public Accountancy Board rules, and all that internal control. Then it's even a level up when you go to NASDAQ. So we're working through all that. So our goal is to get there at some point. We want to watch what happens in the marketplace. So a really long-winded answer to a really short question.
All right. So listen, I'm on my screens, the Voyager community. I want to just fire out some rapid fire questions. You answer them in, one sentence or less, so that they can interact here in real time. Okay, so when is Voyager planning on getting into Canada and into New York?
Okay, so Canada, working with the OFC. We should have that, I guess, 90 days or so. I don't know. I mean, it's regulator. So, but we are working tightly with the OFC to get that done. New York, same thing, working with the DFS on that front. You don't get great timing from regulators. That's their prerogative. But we are working with both of those.
Date of these benefits that you just announced here on the show releasing?
Once we get the token swap, then we can get the benefits all in place.
And a reminder to everybody when that window of the token swap is?
We're hopeful over the next 60 days. Again, working with the security's fine. No, we have no issues there because I've gotten a lot of those questions. It's about working with the exchanges and making sure that they could do the swap, and that takes them some time. So we're hopeful in over 60 days.
All right, just a couple more here. One is, per the governance of the token, can rules and further benefits be added to it as time goes on? Is it a voting governance?
Yeah, look, I think there is a voting governance. We can add things. I think we can take things off. I'd have to go back and check with the team that built it. I know the 7% is definitely a governance item.
Mm-hmm.
And I think even the marketing pool can be taken away after a certain period of time too. So the governance really does go right back to the holders. And as I said, I would unequivocally say that not one individual at Voyager controls the token. Even aggregated, we don't control the token. The power of the community is in the community's hands.
How many funded accounts do you guys have now? If that's
I can only tell you what we did in the last public release, which I think we said about 106,000, and that was about a week or so ago.
All right, and the last thing is, and I know you've seen this, are you able to do the singing cowboy meme that went over?
That was awesome.
Someone asked me about that just now.
We'll send you a hat. We'll send you a cowboy hat.
Well, let me go back to the other one with 106,000 funded. We got like 450,000 people, on the app using it just for market data, so forth. So it's just grown immensely, and we'll convert those people to funded accounts over time here. It's just always part of the fintech funnel. Now, when it comes to those memes, I've sent them to my two kids who are, adults and my wife, and yeah, boy, those are a little scary.
That cowboy one.
Whoever puts them together and kudos to whoever does that, because they're great. I love to see more of them. Maybe we should have a contest and give away like a Voyager shirt or something like that to the best meme. I'll bring that up to the marketing. It's kind of funny. I like the one. Someone did the one with Rafiki, I think it is. That was kind of funny too. They're fun. I mean, look, I love the community. I mean, it's the interaction with the community is great, and that a lot of that goes back to you three and what you guys do every day with your podcasts and YouTube channels and everything you guys do, and talking about us. And I think it's such a tight community, great community. We want to keep growing it, and those things are just kind of fun to see, a little scary, but fun to see.
I want to give a shout out, and then if anybody has any other questions, they can ask them. So there's this one particular community called the Voyager channel, unofficial on Telegram. I'm in it. I'll say, anybody wants to join it, join it. This crowd. It's I don't know. It's like 1,000+ strong. Some of your best supporters right here. I mean, they rally 24 hours a day in this chat about Steve and the company. So congrats, my friend.
It's great. I mean, like I said, it takes a village to build a company. It takes a village to continue growing, and it takes great partners like you guys to keep supporting us. And the whole community behind the token is really supportive, and we're thankful for it. I mean, I could speak for the entire Voyager team. And as we grow from 35 people, I think we're at to over 100 is what our goal by the end of the year. And we have anyone who's looking for to get into crypto and wants to, we have a site up on our website. It's a career site. You can definitely apply. No guarantees to anybody. I don't make any of the hiring unless it's an officer. For the most part, my team does it. They do a great job. But we're truly thankful. I mean, we're thankful to be in this space. We're thankful to be working with guys like you. We're thankful for the community. I know it sounds really corny, but it's truly comes from the bottom of our heart.
It's emotional. They say don't take business personally. Business is personal sometimes.
We try to please everybody. We don't do it all the time. It's nearly impossible, but we try. We just want a lot of happy investors, customers, trying to make wealth and create wealth using what I think is a generational change here in the financial markets.
Yeah, you guys make it super easy, Steve. I mean, like I get hit up all the time, like, talk about this, talk about that. I'm like, if I just can stick with a couple of solid players, everything works itself out. So you guys do what you say you do, and that's all I want. It just makes it so simple for me.
Well, again, I appreciate all the kind words.
Thanks.
Well, there it is, folks. The VLP announcement on VGX token, what everybody's been waiting for a long time. And with everything else going on in his life and his team's life, thank you so much for taking the time out and coming on the show to announce that. Really appreciate it.
Well, thanks for having me.